Losing Star Wars 1313 all those years ago, it left a hole in me. A hole about the size of Starkiller Base. It's been a long time since we've gotten a single-player Star Wars game. A really long time, which is why it's so exciting that Star Wars Battlefront 2's single-player campaign is a full-fledged campaign. It's not an afterthought type of a deal. I've got some exclusive information and behind-the-scenes footage to share with you on the campaign and Star Wars Battlefront 2, and this video is going to be focusing on single-player. If you'd like some information on speculation of multiplayer from everything that the internet's heard, you'll want to check this video out. Through YouTube magic, I'll try to put a link up right here. So the first thing I want to talk about in this breakdown analysis of the single player is the story. And it really is what I'm most looking forward to in the single player. It's unique, it breaks new ground.
It broke new ground!
It really does break new ground. You're playing as an Imperial soldier, Iden Versio. She leads an Imperial Special Forces unit known as Inferno Squad. The campaign spans from the Battle of Endor all the way into Starkiller Base. That's over a 30-year period that's going to be explored in this campaign. And I think the 30-year period between Episode 6 and Episode 7 is a really fascinating part of Star Wars lore that hasn't really been properly explored yet. But as for what the story is actually going to be, it looks like Inferno Squad's task is to avenge their Emperor.
We weren't expecting special forces.
That's the point, Sergeant.
You're playing from the bad guys' perspective. Of course they're not really the bad guys because they did nothing wrong. The rebellion destroyed the Death Star 2 and polluted the Forest Moon of Endor, killing countless Ewoks, murdering the Emperor of the Galaxy who was to bring peace and order. The hypocritical lies and propaganda that these terrorists spin will pay for what they have done.
Impossible.
Commander, what do we do now?
Damn. It looks like the plot revolves around Imperial soldiers picking up the pieces of the shattered sword that was once the Empire, specifically Inferno Squad, and their orders given by Palpatine through Sentinel droids. Palpatine's post-mortem scorched earth policy. Sentinel droids were introduced in Aftermath, and they're basically droids that are sent to certain officers to give out final orders in case of the death of the Emperor. I guess the Emperor creating force storms to terrorize the rebellion after his death was a little too unrealistic for new canon. Battlefront 2 is also introducing a planet into Star Wars lore, Iden's homeworld of Vardos. Described as being an Imperial utopia, Vardos willingly joined the Empire and it was brought in by Iden's father, Admiral Versio. Personally, I was a big fan of the political side of the prequel trilogy. I'm a big fan of Star Wars politics and an even bigger fan of Imperial politics. So the fact that Walt Williams, known for his work on Spec Ops: The Line, is writing the story of Star Wars Battlefront 2 is very encouraging. Also, Mitch Dyer, who is a former IGN reporter, is working on writing the story as well. The story also features elements of choice, but that's all that's been said on that matter. We don't have anything to go off of aside from those few words. Okay, now I'm going to talk about gameplay and show the exclusive footage that I have, but if you want more information on the plot, you may want to read Shattered Empire. Or, July 25th, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 Inferno Squad book is going to be released. It's a book written by Christy Golden, the author of Star Wars Dark Disciple. The plot follows Iden Versio and her team who are tasked with eliminating Saw Gerrera's partisans, and then their subsequent rise through the Imperial ranks. I'll also publish my thoughts on the book around July 25th, just in case you're still on the fence. I'd like to thank Electronic Arts for supplying this really cool behind-the-scenes mocap footage. We can see Janina Gavankar as Iden Versio, and it looks like she's got some of her squad mates alongside of her. But what I want to know is, who is this? Who is this force-choking this other person? At first, I thought it could have been a mocap of this scene. Maybe Luke turns around and he starts force-choking him. Right? Well, no, because Luke's lightsaber was in his right hand, and that's the hand he's force-choking with, so maybe he set it down or something, I don't know. But it does bring up an important aspect of gameplay, which is that you can play as major heroes like Luke Skywalker or Kylo Ren within certain instances of the campaign. Maybe others as well, but those are the only ones that they've mentioned. You know, it's entirely possible that we'll be able to play as a teenage Kylo Ren murdering a school of younglings. I've been seeing a lot of people saying that the campaign is co-op, but it's single player. Battlefront 2 will feature offline co-op in what I'm assuming is going to be a skirmish-like game mode, but yeah, campaign is not co-op. But like Republic Commando, Inferno Squad members will have different abilities. You can't give orders to them, but they're still going to be helping you. I hope they have personalities as distinct as the Republic Commando's personalities. That would be sweet. Reportedly, single player isn't a very linear experience. Instead, it has more of an open feel, more of a sandbox feel. If I had to guess, and I don't know anything on this, I really don't, but if I had to guess, I would say it's almost going to be an Uncharted 4 type of a system. There's also a progression system in single player where you can actually customize gadgets, abilities, or weapons, but as far as we know, there's nothing to unlock by playing single player for multiplayer. So you don't have certain weapons or gadgets in multiplayer locked behind completing single player, so if you don't want to complete single player, you don't have to. Speaking of gadgets, Iden Versio has this cute little droid on her back, this little drone thing that will assumingly be used in Watch Dogs 2 styled elements of gameplay and puzzle solving. It's cute though, I like it. Maybe it'll be the Imperial version of BB-8, or maybe it'll be more like a actually murderous HK-47. I was curious if the single-player campaign would be locked to a specific point of view, like maybe first person for example, but it looks like you may be able to play the campaign in third person, and again, this is complete speculation, but look here. Third person looks like the campaign. Maybe it's third person only. Again, we don't know anything on this yet, but I'm still curious. It kind of seems like Inferno Squad is stationed on a Raider-class corvette, which made its first appearance in the Blue Man Group. I'm kind of hoping it becomes a character in and of itself with the now limited resources of the Empire. Inferno Squad's got to take care of it, you know, for this long, final guerrilla warfare assault, kind of like the Normandy SR2 at the end of Mass Effect 2. What stood out to me most in the trailer wasn't the First Order, it wasn't the awesome, amazing graphics, and it wasn't even the really cool scenes that we saw. It was Iden Versio and her devout love of the Empire. I respect that. I respect the hell out of that, and I can't wait to play as her. She's an awesome protagonist. And it feels like Janina Gavankar is bringing a great emotion to the character. Anyway, that's about all there is to say on the single-player campaign of Star Wars Battlefront 2. It looks like it's gonna be great. I'm glad that they're focusing on it and it's not an afterthought. This is, after all, the first single-player Star Wars campaign we've gotten in a long time. And not only that, but it's got an interesting story and the Empire did nothing wrong. All is right in the world. If you want to see a detailed analysis of the speculation the internet's been speculating on regarding Star Wars Battlefront 2 with some official information being broken down as well, check this video out. But thank you for watching this video, and if you have any speculation as to what you think is going to be inside of the campaign or inside of Battlefront 2, leave a comment, because I would love to hear it.